Okay, so now that you guys had practiced finding the faces, we're going to now start kind of editing the faces. So this one we're going to kind of draw over those facial landmarks we covered. So let's get to it. You can open up your terminal. Alright, let's see where we are. LS Documents, and I showed you guys this last video. You can go CD Documents. And then you can also go, I know my folder's in there, so Mr. Shelley. And you hit enter. There we go. I'm right there. I'm going to hit Jupyter Lab. Let me launch my code, and we're going to do lesson 2 of facial recognition. Let's see what we got. Okay, so wait for it to boot up. So what we're going to do, we're going to write pseudocode today, okay? So we are going to plan out what we're going to do beforehand. So we're going to go back to our home just in case we're not there. We're going to click the new, we're going to start a new one, and we'll call this, I guess we already have lesson 3, so let's make this lesson 4. Lesson 4, finding, we'll call it just facial landmarks. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to do this thing called pseudocode. So if you go 1, 2, 3, and then hit enter, anything in here will be a comment, obviously. So pseudocode is just where you plan out what you're going to do. Okay? So our goal, and we'll write it right here, our goal is to draw the facial landmarks on top of a picture. So what's going to happen is, first thing we're going to need is we're going to need to load our image. Okay. Then what we're going to need to do is we can actually use this thing to get the face landmarks. Okay. I want to then print out the number of faces. I'll say face landmarks detected, because that'll be the same thing as the number of faces. And then we'll also just print the face landmarks to see what they look like. Okay? And then what we're going to do is we are then going to draw the facial landmarks. Okay? And the only other thing we're going to do is we're going to add a parameter, or one of those things that can be customized, that controls the width you draw the face landmarks with. Okay? So, first step, let's go get a picture. Kind of feeling I want to get a picture of Steph and LeBron. Okay? See what we got. See what we got. Alright. Let me try. I like this one. Let me try this one. So you right click and you'll say save image as. The easiest way to do this is to go to your folder. Okay, documents, images. We'll call this Steph LeBron facial landmarks. Okay, and if you wanted to just to even be sent, you could Control C to copy it. You could save it. Now let's go back to our Jupyter Lab. If we click on our images and you click last modified, you should see the one you just saved is right here. Okay, so now if you ever want to know, you hit Shift Enter to run. And also, say you didn't even want to run it, you could hit B, creates a new cell underneath. And then if you click outside and do DD, it erases it. So kind of just fun things to know. So the first thing is, I'll write a comment. Step 1, we need to load our image. So the deal is, I can't just use the load image function. There actually, I was going to see if anyone probably caught it. There's a 0 step. We need to import the facial recognition library. Okay. So before I even do that, I'm going to go about the image. I'm going to import library. Okay. So I just say import jelly face. You can hit tab because that's the only library in the same folder as this lesson 4 thing. That's the only library. And let's give it a nickname as face. Okay. I'll run that. While it's running, you see a star. That means it's busy running and it hasn't finished running yet. And the numbers indicate I ran this first, I ran that second. Watch. If I run this third, it's going to print 3. If I run it again, that's the 4th thing I ran. If I run it again, it's the 5th thing. So that's what those numbers mean. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to load in our image. Okay. So we kind of covered this last time. It's face.load, and if you hit tab, you can look at, oh, there's only one function called load image. All you have to do is give it a path to your image, and we went over paths a lot last time. So the only thing is, it's in my image folder, and I need to do / and what it was called, let's see, if you right click and hit rename, you can just copy the whole thing, hit Control-C, right here, and hit Control-V, there we go. So the deal is, it returns an image object. So we say image is equal, so it's going to store it in this variable. Load that. If you ever want to see that it worked, you can come here, and you can just, if you say print image, there, those are those RGB values. Those are those 3 RGB values. So you know it loaded in. Great. So now what we're going to do is, if we go dir to find all the functions in our library that we nickname face, we want something that gets the face landmarks. So let's look here, see if there's a function. Oh, there is, face landmarks. Okay, so let's get some help on this. What does it do? What do we need to send it? Okay, if I do this, it's going to give me an error because there's no function I've defined called face landmarks, but the library has it inside of it. So that's why we do face.faceLandmarks. Okay, so this one says we'll get the locations of the important facial features as dictionary. By features, it refers to eyes, ears, mouth, nose. We'll return a list of dictionaries because there might be multiple faces in the picture. Okay, so it looks like the parameters it takes. It needs an image, and then it needs an optional face location. Okay, it says optional because I could give it a face location, but for here we're not. So what is it going to return? Return location, a list of facial features that represents the corners of the bounding box. Okay, let's try it. So what we're going to do is we're going to use that function face.faceLandmarks. Okay, I did that by hitting tab. All I need to, I'm just going to pass the image file. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pass it, I'm going to say landmarks. Okay, and hit run. Oh, to see if it worked, you do, let's just print the landmarks. Let's see what it gave us. Oh, look, ta-da! It actually found all the right eye, right eyebrow, right eye, left eyebrow. Okay, so I found all of those. And this is a dictionary because look, it has a key matched up with a value, comma, key matched up with a value. Okay, but it looks like it only got one, so let's see which one it got. It missed someone. Okay, so let's try this. We're going to get the number of faces real quick, just to make it easy for everyone to see. So number of faces found. So this said it will return you a list of all the landmarks because it might find multiple faces. So if we're going to just find the number of faces found, we just have to say length of face. It looks like I called them landmarks. Oops. Control Z gets in. Oops, Control Z, there we go. And then Control C copies, Control V paste, and then I'm going to do a complex print and say number of faces found, and then plus str number of. But I already wrote this variable, and I can hit tab and it'll finish for me because there's no other variable I wrote that had NUM started with NUM. Okay, so it only found one. So let's find out which face it found. So let's say the way you do this is this could potentially be a list. So there could potentially be multiple things in there. So kind of like what we talked about in the find facial stuff. We're going to say for, I'll call it facial landmark in landmarks. So that means it's going to go through all of the list of landmarks, and for each one it's going to put them in the facial landmark, that variable, and it's going to do something with it. So the only thing I want to do with it is this thing called face.draw face features. Okay, that's an image in my, that's a you can go check me, but that's a function in my library. All I need to do is pass it one of these guys, one of these dictionaries, and it will draw it and give me a pop-up window with it. But I need to send it the image, so my original image file, so it can do it on top of it that I had up there. And I also need to send it the landmark. So for each one in the list, it puts it in there. So for each one, I put it right there. And let's see what this does. All right. So it looks like, let's see this. Oops. We're going to view it at original size, view at double size. Okay, so we got LeBron, all right? It did not get Steph. But here's the deal. Do you see how this is so fat? Like the line's way too thick, okay? So we need to change that. So if we go back up here to help, let's get help on the draw facial features. That's the one we use. So it looks like here are the parameters. We have to give it an image. Okay. We have to give it the landmark, but there's this optional parameter called width. And it says optional parameter that sets the line width, the default default. So our line width is too big, so we want to make it smaller. So what we're going to do is we're going to have this variable. We'll call it width, and let's set it to like 2. And we'll put it right here. Let's customize it. Let's see what happens. Oh, that's looking a little nicer. What do you guys think? Yeah, it could even be a little smaller. So let's change it to 1. Shift Enter. There we go. That's kind of nice. So look, it traces over the facial features of LeBron. That's awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it into a function now, and then we'll try it on a different picture and see if it picks up multiple faces. So functions are very easy to do. Let's say define, what do I want to call this? I want to call it, let's call it, I don't know, find facial features. Okay, so the thing that we're going to have our user send it is it's going to have an image path, and then also we want the user to define the width in case they want to change it. So let's say the default is 1 looks pretty good for us. So now we just copy what we did up here. Da 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 da. I come here, copy that, Control C, come down here. Make sure you have an indent and make sure the indent's the same for all the way through. But instead of always loading the Steph Curry image, I am going to let them give me a customizable image path. Okay, I loaded my image. And then what I have to do is I have to find my facial landmarks. So I'm going to come here. And boom, that looks good. And now I want to print out the number of faces. Just like in our pseudocode, which is kind of our plan. And then lastly, I don't want to copy the width because I want it to be customizable. Okay. I'm going to paste right there. But it says for facial landmarks in landmarks. As you see, when here, there was a indent from there to there. So we need to do the same thing here. We need to indent, and there we go. So we're going to run it. It's going to do nothing because we're just defining it. We haven't put it into action yet. So You can go down on another video or another picture. I want to do, let's see, what do I want to do? I want to do Holy Chips, two of my favorite rappers. This one seems like it could be pretty good. Maybe this one. I know that doesn't have a chance in it, but everyone's kind of facing the same way. That could be kind of nice. Save image as. I think those are all wrappers. And look, it's already saving in my folder in images. So I'll hit save. And as you can see here, it popped up right here. If you want to right click and hit rename, look, you can just copy the name real quick. And so watch this. Find facial features. Okay, my path is, I can't just paste this because my file is here, and there is no wrapper group JPEG inside here. Instead, it's inside the folder images. So I have to do images wrapper group, and then let's set the width to, let's do 1.5. Let's see what that is. And so, because I specified both of those guys. Let's see if that works. Ooh, it found 3 faces. That's good news for us. Uh-oh, but it errored. Okay, it said integer argument expected. It got a float. So hopefully we've kind of learned this. An integer means a whole number. So it looks like I can't specify that the width is 1.5. I need to give it a number. So let me just do 1. There we go. Boom. Kind of nice. Very nice. Okay, so the only other thing is if I wanted a picture with all of their faces drawn, the only thing is I don't do this loop thing. Instead, I just do this. I don't loop through and do it for every one. I just pass it all of the face landmarks. So watch this. You just come here, instead of looping through and putting each one in this variable called facial landmarks and then sending it, I am just going to send all of them together packaged up there. So I have to run this to redefine it. I'm going to run this again. It should print out 4. And there we go. Nice. It's got all 3. So that's how to kind of draw the facial views. You'll need this because next time we'll kind of draw makeup on everyone, which will be fun. See ya.